It's time for the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we're back to talk some more NBA playoff basketball as game one of the Eastern Conference Finals is here. I'm excited. I'm ready to talk about it. We had some wild series, wild finishes over the weekend with the T-Wolves winning in Denver. That was insane, but we got the T-Wolves Mavericks and the Pacers Celtics as the final four teams left. So, quick reminder before we get into the video, MLB best bets video and all that research help we give out, that will be out after this video, so go check that out when you have a chance. But we only have one game to talk about. I'm ready to get right into it. We're going to talk a lot of details. We're going to talk matchups, all that. But of course, we start with the dad joke. So here we go. This is from @Jabo's wife. Okay, that's not really the handle, but this is my wife. So here we go. She gave me a few for this week. I ordered this book titled How to Scam People. It's been 3 months now. I hope it arrives soon. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good. She's better at this than me, obviously. Anyways, in this video, we're gonna recap the weekend because we haven't had a video since Friday for the NBA, and then we're gonna talk some matchups. I'm gonna give you 3 matchups on each team and how they fared and the matchup versus in the regular season and things like that. And then we're gonna preview this series and talk and give you our best bet and leans for Game One. And then, of course, we gotta wrap it up with the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, like you guys have been doing every single day. I want to see at least 500 likes. We can do that. I think you can. All you gotta do is tap it. Really helps support the channel, helps us grow, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. So I'm ready to get started. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, of course, hit that subscribe button as we're almost to 25,000 subscribers. So let's get it rolling. And that means we start with the recap. All right, here is the weekend recap. It's been a while. I'm not going to dwell on all these too much, but Friday was just a half-unit loss with Dante DiVincenzo. Did not get it done. He had like 5 at halftime and just didn't do it. Saturday, Jalen Williams over 10.5 RAs was an easy win. Kyrie Irving over 5.5 assists. He just became invisible. They changed how they played like midway through the series, and it was all Luka with the assists again. That's what happens with these. They do all these strategies, and we don't know about it, but that's what happened. Sunday, 1-1. Knicks -3. They lost by 103. It was horrendous. There was just too many injuries. It was just a bad read on my end. And then Mike Conley over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. That was a third quarter cash and easy winner. So just kind of a ho hum 2-3 with one of the losses being a half unit. So as of now, we go down to minus 1.53 units. We can get that back in just a day or two. 43-36 in the playoffs. I know the record and units don't match, but that's because we've won a lot of half unit plays because I put the wrong units on it. But anyways, there's a season record if you're new. I'm ready to get started and talk this game one, and that starts with the matchups. All right, before we get to those matchups, we got to tell you about this brand new promotion with DraftKings. You get a 2-in-1 promotion. First, a no sweat bet up to $1,500. You get a bonus bet back equal to your original wager if your first bet loses. So if you just want to take a chance, go bet $1,000 on something. If it loses, you get that $1,000 back in bonus bets. It's an incredible deal. And then on top of it, for you NBA fans, an NBA no sweat same game parlay every single day of the playoffs. Just an incredible deal. If you're thinking about signing up with DraftKings, now is the time because this will only be available for a limited time only. And how do you get it? Well, first of all, it's for new users. You just click that link below in the description for the DraftKings. Go sign up and use these promotions and get started. So, of course, you must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now to the matchups. All right, it's game one of the series, so we're going to talk matchups. We don't have rebound chances and potential assists and all that to go over right now. So I'm going to first start out with the Celtics matchups today. I made it look as pretty as possible. How's this? With Celtics logo and everything, just for you guys. But anyways, I'm going to go over the main 3 guys, or 3 of the main guys. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White. Tatum first. Indiana gave up the 3rd most points and the 13th most rebounds to power forwards during the regular season. Tatum, in the 4 games he played against Indy, averaged 32.5 points, 11 rebounds, and 5.8 dimes. So just some info, some stats to give you. And then Jaylen Brown also had a good time playing the Pacers. Pacers gave up the 9th most points to the small forward position. Jaylen Brown averaged 28.4 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 1.2 assists in 5 games that he played versus the Indiana Pacers. And then Derek White versus the Pacers. Indiana gave up the 3rd most points and 6th most rebounds to the shooting guards this season. And White averaged 16 points, 3.6 boards, and 5 dimes in the 5 games versus Indiana. Obviously, some of these you got to take with a grain of salt because Porzingis is going to be out game one. He played some of these games, so take that for what it is. You can go research all that, but that I didn't break that down exactly. So Porzingis may return later in the series, but for now he is out. So those are some matchups just to kind of give you info to start your day and how these guys have done against the Pacers. So now let's move over to the other side, and we have the Indiana Pacers matchups. I'm going to talk about their three main guys: Tyrese Halliburton versus Celtics. Well, this is going to be a tough matchup. Boston gave up the fewest rebounds and the fifth fewest assists to the point guard position this season. It's kind of like the Pacers. They both don't give up a lot of assists to the point guards. But Halliburton averaged only 15.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 9 dimes versus Boston in 4 games. But these numbers are a little skewed. I'm not going to just give you these without telling you that in 2 of the games, I think he was still working back from injury, but he played 22 and 13 minutes in 2 of those games. So, I don't know if you really count that, to be honest with you. And then Miles Turner versus the Celtics. Boston gave up the 11th fewest points and the second fewest three-pointers made this season to centers. I included that second one because we all know Miles Turner is a center who likes to shoot. Turner averaged 14 points, 7 rebounds, and made 0, 2, 0, 1, and 2 threes in the 5 games this year. He had never made more than 2 3 balls. So, and then the third one, Pascal Siakam. This is a different one because he only played 1 game versus Celtics as a member of the Pacers. I didn't want to include numbers really and how we did on the Raptors. It's just a whole different team and everything. But Boston gave up the 8th fewest points to power forwards this year. Siakam only played 1 game, like I mentioned, as against the Celtics. Sorry, I can't talk all of a sudden. But in that game, he had 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. So sorry for all the rambling. Just want to give you the key matchups. Hopefully this, maybe it helps you out and at least gives you an idea of matchups and how these teams play each other a little bit. But without further ado, it's time to talk Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, BetterBet. That's BTR Bet, the best place to find, track, analyze, and share your bets. Link is below in the description. And like I mentioned last couple days, it just started. Use that promo code JABO when you go. You get 30 days free plus the 7-day free trial. Guys, if you're serious about betting, this is an incredible site. It's very unique. It helps you organize your bets. It helps give you feedback on your bets. What are you doing the best at? What sports book? What type of bets? It syncs to all your sports books. It's just incredible. You can see all the odds across different sports books, etc., etc. And now's the best time to take the opportunity for that promo code JABO. Get 30 days free. But now to this game. Celtics hosting the Indiana Pacers. Celtics minus 10, total of 222 in this game. I'm going to talk some notes and stats before I get into the best bet because that's just how I roll. I don't know. I guess I have a problem where I can't just give you a bet and leave and that's it. It just doesn't seem that helpful or fun to me. So this will be the 5th Eastern Conference Finals during the Jason Tatum era. That's insane considering he has 0 titles so far. Celtics have won 3 out of the 5 meetings against the Pacers this year. 4 of those 5 meetings went over this 222 total. Obviously, playoffs are a little different, but just letting you know. And 4 of those 5 meetings had a total of 234 or more. That's right. And the average total for the 5 meetings was 245.8. That's just some info to give you guys if you're total bettors and all that. But in the 2 games in Boston, Celtics won by 5 and 51. That's a decent win. Pacers are averaging the most points in the game in the playoffs, points per game in the playoffs this season, at 114 points per game. Celtics are only giving up 96.7 points per game in the playoffs so far, but they also played, the Miami Heat and the Cavs. The Celtics are good defensively, but their offenses they have faced have not been great. So I'm going to give you, here's the deal. I'm going to give you one best bet. It's going to be for a half unit. I'm going to ease my way in, but I'm also going to give you 3 possible plays. I may add 1, I may add 2. So I'm going to probably end up total with 2 or 3 half unit plays on this one. So we're going to talk about 4 total plays. So let's start with my best bet that I have, and that's the Boston Celtics minus 10. That's right. We're doing it minus 110 on DraftKings and pretty much every sports book. Yes, this is a big number, and I'm going to go with the more rested and more talented team here. So it's going to be tough coming off Game 7. We all know that. When you have a grueling series with the Knicks and you finally get the win in Game 7, get over the hump, and 2 days later have to travel to Boston, that's not easy. So let's talk some trends. And if you watch my NFL videos, you know I absolutely love trends. I don't follow it as much on NBA, but teams coming off of a Game 7 win since 2008 are 24, 38, and 1 against the spread, and 22 and 41 straight up. It's been tough. There's no joke. There's a reason for it. Underdogs in Game 1 coming off a Game 7 win, 18 and 24 against the spread, 12 and 30 against or straight up on that one. So these just reiterate how hard it is to go from a 7-game series to this. And you just saw it earlier. The Cleveland Cavaliers played the Magic in Game 7. 2 days later, played the Boston Celtics in Boston and lost by 25. So we saw it just in this playoffs against the same Celtics team. So Pacers on 1 day rest, and this will be their 8th game in 15 days. That is absolutely insane. It's just going to be wild. Celtics 5 days of rest coming into this. I know there's that rust and all that, and there could be a little bit of that, but rest-wise, it's not even close right now. So Pacers 7-10 against the spread when they had a rest disadvantage. Celtics 16-12-1 against the spread with a rest advantage. So that's all the numbers. But I also just love the matchup in this one, guys. The Celtics defense, if you don't know, they are a top-tier team when it comes to stopping transition offense. Guess what the Pacers love to do? They love to run and gun. They love to run up and down. They don't want to have this be a half-court offensive game, slow down. They want to run, and now they get to play the #1 transition defense. Even without Kristaps, I think the Celtics win this game pretty easily. I think they're going to be able to slow down Halliburton, which we'll talk about more later. But I mean, Drew Holiday, Derek White, I think they got what it takes. I just think this is going to be too much in Game 1 for the Pacers. It doesn't mean I don't think the Pacers can compete a little bit in this series or win a game here and there. But just Game 1, this is a rough spot for them going into Boston. So I like the Celtics -10. I think they cruise easily, just like they did in Game 1 against the Cavaliers. I know it's a different team, different kind of style, but I think the Celtics kind of are a decent fit for them. The Pacers do like to run guys off the three-point line, but this is one of the best three-point shooting teams we have seen in a long time in the Boston Celtics. So even with Kristaps, I like the Celtics to roll -10. That is my best bet in this game. That's for a half unit, and then I'll probably add another half unit. But let's talk some possible plays for tomorrow, aka lean. So here we go. First one, Tyrese Halliburton under 32.5 PRAs. As you know, I think the Celtics are going to win kind of easy. I don't want to be on too many overs in case they end up winning by like 30 and I win one bet, but then another bet loses because I have an over and he's not playing. Some guy's not playing. But like I mentioned before, Celtics, Derek White, Drew Holiday, both can play very good defense. Two of the better defending guards. I'm surprised Derek White has been so good defensively, but he really has. Celtics, obviously being #1 transition defense, will limit his assist potentials. And Celtics are already great at limiting assists to point guards. So I think that's going to keep that down. And like I showed before, the Celtics allowed the fewest rebounds to the point guard position. And then, of course, the 5th fewest assists to the point guard position. So his points wise now is over under is 19.5. I like it under 19.5. I just think that's too many points with this defense. And I also like the rebounds plus assists if you can still get 13.5. So Celtics, just one of the top teams at defending a point guards in general, and I think they're going to have a good time here, or a good chance here to limit Tyrese Halliburton, if I can think and talk at the same time. So under 32.5 PRA is the first lean. Second one, let's go another Halliburton lean. Under 3.5 threes. Again, these are just ideas, guys. I'm here to give you as much info as possible. You pick one, you fade all of them. I don't care. It's up to you guys, obviously. Maybe one of these sticks out to you and you like it. But Halliburton under 3.5 threes. He's gone under this line in 4 of 7 road games in the playoffs. Yes, he had a big game versus the Knicks, but the Knicks have struggled defending the three. That's one of their main struggles. They defend the paint well, but they have really struggled defending the three. Celtics have held their opponents at 33.8% from deep in the playoffs. And like I mentioned earlier, Celtics defense will limit easy shots in transition, which will help him hopefully stay under this 3.5. And as you know, Halliburton sometimes disappears. And maybe this is one of those games in Game 1, he gets bottled up, can't do anything. New defense, tougher defensive guards, and then obviously a blowout helps both of these unders for Halliburton. And now the third one, I'll give you an over too. How about Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points? He's dominated the Pacers this season like we talked about. The Pacers are not a team that doubles people or anything. They just play one-on-one, and that's allowed Jaylen Brown to just get to the rim because they like to run guys off that three-point line, as we've seen all season long, which is why you don't see a lot of point guards to assist to point guards and things like that. But Brown is the guy. If you want to see a guy attack the rim and a guy you just don't want to get in front of, it's Jaylen Brown. In the 5 games, we already talked about, he averaged 28.4 points per game versus the Pacers. Now, obviously, even more minutes as he's playing in the playoffs, assuming it's not a blowout, of course, on this over now. I just don't think the Pacers have anyone that can stop them. Really, that's just the bottom line. They don't have guys that are just lockdown defenders that can stop someone driving to the rim or anything like that. So since we know the Pacers try to limit threes to opponents as much as possible, I just like Jaylen Brown to attack the rim, get a lot of free throws, things like that. It's going to be a little bit faster paced game for the Celtics and all these Celtics players because now they're playing the Pacers, obviously, after playing the Cavs and the Heat, which are two teams that like to slow it down. So obviously the worry for me here is the blowout because you already know my best bet. I think the Celtics win easy here. That's why I have a -10. So, take it at your own risk. Maybe drop it down to 20 and take it as a parlay piece. All those are ideas. So anyways, that's my best bet for now. Again, I'm going to have probably an added play, at least one half unit play in the comments below. I'm going to play it slow in this first game, kind of see where teams are, see what strategies there are, and coaches' decisions and all that kind of stuff for this matchup. So that's the best bet. Those are the 3 leans as of right now. Thank you for listening to me ramble about only one NBA game. I appreciate it. Let's go check out the recap. All right, there it is. The one and only bet so far. The Celtics -10 at -110 on DraftKings for a half unit. And then if you just fast forward to this page, I also gave out 3 leans, possible additions for tomorrow. It'll be in the pinned comments. It will be on X and it'll be on Discord as always. Let's have a great conference finals round in the Eastern and Western Conference. We'll be back to talk game 1 of the Western Conference tomorrow. But yeah, let's get into it. It's getting exciting, getting close to the NBA Finals. So I appreciate it. Again, if you haven't already, just please hit that like button. We put hours and hours of work. All we need you to do is hit that like button. Oh, and if you have any time, of course, leave that comment below to help this channel continue to grow and continue to get better. I appreciate all the support. So anyways, that's all I got. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon.